In this episode, I share some tactics, perspective shifts, and strategies I implemented over the years that have helped me to double my time, all while creating more freedom in my business and my life. Expect to learn a matrix I use for making any decision, a powerful to-do list that focuses on getting the important things done, tools and tactics to not get stuck wasting time, and the power that comes when solving a problem faster than anyone else. I hope you enjoy the show and learn something new. Welcome back to the Soft Tissue Treatment Revolution podcast, where we teach overworked massage therapists a new treatment system that will allow you to double your income, all while working 50% less, so you can avoid that dreaded burnout and help a hell of a lot more people get out of pain. If you're new to the show and you don't know who I am, my name is Dr. Matt Maggio. I am a soft tissue injury treatment expert, specifically for neck, shoulder, sciatica, and hip pain. My focus is on finding and fixing adhesion and reducing inflammation from chronic injuries without the use of drugs, injections, or surgeries, which does lead to a significant increase in overall functioning, flexibility, and long-lasting pain relief. Thanks so much for stopping by and checking out the show. Just wanted to get one quick announcement out there before I begin the show. You know, we get lots of people that reach out and ask if we teach any courses and what they're about and if they're offered. I don't talk about it a lot, really just trying to put out as much information out there to help you kind of change your perspectives. But we do have 3 levels of courses, and you must go through them in order to get the best out of everything. You know, the first one, if you haven't tried it yet, is our free training. It's really going to get you to start using your brain first, become a clinician first, then a technician, starts thinking about critical thinking. We teach you how to solve a very common problem in the neck and show you some real life examples, some real treatment, some real palpation where you can go and help solve that problem in your client every single time. Then we do have an online training program. It's actually included for up to 16 CEUs for massage therapy if you need it. It goes through the whole system, and it's really important to learn it all before you ever come in for hands-on training. The goal of that training and that system is you're going to learn how to do the treatment 50% faster, all while doubling your income. Then once you've gone through that course, you have a good foundation about what's going on. We do offer an in-person course. It's very detailed. It's very focused. We only have 2 people at a time come for that. You know, I used to do these big groups where I'd have like 30, 40 people in a room. I hated doing that because, you know, people weren't able to get the most out of that. They lost focus. I lost focus. So we really went to this more smaller, more focused type of group. And what happens with that is there's a couple things that happen when you do come. You get to shadow in my clinic for a day with me and my clinical assistant. You get to see me with my own clients, see how the system works, gets full in order. Then we get to work directly with me and my team. And when it's all said and done, you're going to be confident when you walk out there that you'll be able to fix injuries better and faster than anyone else around you. The way we do those is we usually have you come in on a Thursday and shadow, and then Friday we spend 4 to 6 hours really diving in, getting your hands on me, on you, my assistant, everyone, so you're going to be really good when you get out of there at the end of the day. So just that announcement in there. All the information is included on our website or wherever you find it. And if you do reach out and you ask questions and our awesome assistant takes time to write you back and you don't write them back at all, that's kind of being mean and you're being an asshole. Don't be an asshole. If you reach out, we respond back to you, at least acknowledge that, because that's, you know, just a nice thing to do. So that's just that quick announcement in there. So this podcast, some productivity tasks and hacks that helped me double my time and have more freedom in my business. You know, I thought for years that I always had a time problem. It wasn't a time problem. I just had a priority problem. And it really fucked with me a lot and kept me from getting to where I needed to be, into a different place, into a different world, into something that I'm not working like a slave all the time. I'm not always in my business. I'm not always just wondering when money's going to come in, not being able to take care of my health and my wellness, all that stuff. This helps you get that work-life balance shit that you want to have. At the end of the day, I like working, but I also like being able to do the things that I want to do. And I want to work on my time, my schedule for what I want to make, and not having anyone else tell me what to do. I'm basically unemployable. I have been since I was a kid. So that's why I run my own business and do my own thing, but I want that business to work for me. I don't want to get stuck working for it. So first thing I always run through, I use this matrix for how I make any decision in my life. And I actually learned this from Warren Buffett. You don't know who he is, the most successful investor of all time, worth like hundreds of billions of dollars. And he talked about this idea of creating a vital list, a vital, V-I-T-A-L. Yeah, can't spell today. Vital list. And basically what it is it's 3 things in 3 areas in your life you really want to focus on. My vitals are actually my health and something in my mindset. And then the last one is what I want to do on a business level or impact level. So when I'm constructing this vital list, it's health, something with how I act and how I want to be. And then the last one is my business and impact that I want to make. So my vitals are, I want to have optimal health. And by having optimal health, I'm going to do everything that I can. I'm going to eat right. I'm going to move right. I'm going to breathe right. I'm going to sleep right. I'm going to hydrate right. My other one is my mindset. I practice an ancient philosophy called Stoicism. The idea behind Stoicism is the only thing that's in your control is your thoughts and actions. So that's how I run through things as well. I also understand that nobody can make me feel a certain way. That's how it's going to be. And then lastly, on a business and purpose type of goal, I want to educate millions on all their treatment options so they can stay the hell away from pain pills, injections, and surgeries, and also train up 500 awesome soft tissue providers so we can really make a true impact and slow the pain pill epidemic down. So I have this vital list. And what happens is now whenever I'm making a decision in my life, maybe something I want to eat, some activity that I want to do, maybe an argument that I'm about to have that I shouldn't have, or what I'm going to do for the day or focus on, I run it through the vital list. And as long as that activity fits into one of my vitals, I do it. If it doesn't fit into any of those, I don't do it. So it really takes the emotion out of it. Like a lot of times like, oh, I want to just fuck around and just scroll through social media and watch Netflix all day. I'm like, is this in my vitals? Now, I do have one day where I allow myself to do that. Usually it's Sundays where I just kind of shut everything down and let my brain recharge and do all that stuff. But, Monday through Saturday, I am on that vital list. And a lot of times on Sundays, I don't even want to do much of that. I end up doing it anyway as I go through. Then the next thing I do is based off my vital list, I create a very powerful to-do list that focuses on getting the important things done. This is called a power list. I got this from Andy Frisella. If you don't know who Andy Frisella is, he's the dude that created the 75 hard program. Totally changed my life, changed lots of other people's lives. But based off my vitals, then I structure my day in what's called the power list. And the power list is 5 critical tasks that you're going to attack for that day and get them done. So an example of my power list for today, one was make sure I got my 2 workouts in. Another one is I have to create this podcast as I'm doing today. Another one is I have 3 new patients that are coming in today and I have to prepare for them to come in. Another one is I am going to be training up my clinical assistant and spending 2 dedicated hours with her. And then the last one is I'm going to make sure that I eat clean all day long and I push my carbs till later in the day. Now, that might not seem like a lot, but it really gets me focused. And every single one of those fits directly into my vital list. And it just makes it easy. And the best part is what I do is I make this list the night before I go to bed. It's really powerful when you can unload your brain and then have a plan for what you're going to do the next day. You can get up and attack the day. So many people struggle. They get up, they don't have a plan. They just do a bunch of shit. And then all of a sudden the day gets away from them and they're like, I don't have enough time. I'm out of time. It's like, no, you don't have enough. It's not that you don't have enough time. I say your priorities are all fucked up. And if you can line it up and set your day up for success each and every time, you're going to be doing great. And you just got to win one day at a time. The idea behind the power list is win the day, win that day in front of you. I actually have it tattooed on my right inner arm that says win the day. If I forget, it's like, hey, just focus on today. Do the things you need to do today. They're going to move you in the right direction. Use the vitals to do that. It's going to put you in a much better place. So a couple tools and tactics that I use to not get stuck wasting time, because we all like to waste time. One is the idea, and I've talked about this a lot, is use social media. Don't let it use you. I think social media is an amazing tool for your business. It can help you grow. It can help you get the word out. A lot of it you can do for free. It's an amazing tool, but it also can suck you in and you can start being a consumer of it. You don't want to consume it. You want to put stuff out there for other people to consume, but not actually get stuck in that scrolling. So I tried that thing, on my iPhone with app limits where it gives you a little thing. It's like, oh, you're over your limit for today. And then you can either ignore it, add another minute, or then hit another button and just type in your code and be good for the day. I found that I just wasn't, I'm a normal human, just like the rest of you. And I just would continue to add more time for that. So what I found was best for me first was I started to just take it off my phone. And then I only use like Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn on the computer. It's a lot harder to use it on the computer. It doesn't have all those extra bells and whistles and those dopamine rushes that you get from using it. That definitely helped. And then I would just reload it again when I needed to post something for work. But that kind of got to be a pain in the ass as well. Then I got this idea from Alex Hormozi, who's an awesome business consultant and someone that does awesome work. He said to go on your phone and under the color filter, switch to what's called grayscale. And switch your phone over into grayscale. And basically it just makes your phone boring and you don't want to be on it. It just sucks looking at it. So I don't really even get sucked into it. So I noticed once I went to grayscale, my screen time went down from like 2 hours a day to like 5 or 10 minutes because it's just not that fun as you get in there. And then once again, as I said, this is really important, is making that power list the night before. It really just gives you the benefit of less stress before bed, and you can wake up and get after the day and get the shit done that's important. Because you don't have a priority, you do have a priority problem, but you're not attacking the right things and you get stuck doing mindless stuff. And maybe you're scrolling Instagram for an hour in the morning. What the fuck did that do for you? Nothing. And then you feel worse afterwards, but then you continue to do it and you can't figure out why you're not getting success in moving in the right direction. So lastly is the power that comes when solving a problem faster than anyone else. A lot of people reach out and they're like, oh, your system sounds great, but there's no way in hell that I could treat, in 20-minute sessions or 30-minute sessions because like the client would never go for that and there's no way you can get results. Well, that's just you giving yourself limiting beliefs. It can work. So here's what I work. I do 3 20-minute sessions in a block. I have 3 sessions that I can do. I do a total of 15 hours of clinic time per week. So when I'm in the clinic Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And what I charge is $125 per session, and that is paid for in advance. So I'm able to see up to 45 clients per week, but it's paid for in advance, and my money comes in, my schedule is set. I know when I'm working on those hours. So basically what I do is I work like 12 to 3, take a little bit of a break, and then I work 4 to 7. I do that 3 days a week. I kind of learned that from watching nurses and shift workers that do like 312s and then they're off from there. So the beauty of this system in the way that I do it in my method, in my treatments is first off, there's less wear and tear on my body because I'm not having to work so damn hard. I'm doing more of an effective treatment, getting it just right. I'm not on my feet all day long. If you did 5 hours or 6 hours of an hour-long massage session, you're on your feet and you're working that whole hour. A lot of my treatment is spent measuring, palpating, delivering treatment, explaining to the client what's going on, how I'm helping. It really takes the wear and tear. I always say work smarter, not harder. But in order to work smarter, you got to learn to work harder first. And essentially, with that schedule, that 12 to 7, what it did was it allowed me to almost get 2 days out of 1. So for me, one thing that was really important for me, I used to work these really early morning schedules and I'd get up really early and it would just fuck with me. It'd fuck with my sleep schedule, cause a lot of issues. And what I realized is like, I hate waking up with an alarm. So I decided that I wasn't going to do that anymore. So basically I get up when my body's ready to get up. One thing I do is as soon as my eyes open up anytime after 5 a.m., I just count to 10 and get my ass out of bed and get going. But now what I have, usually I'm up by like 5:30, and I have all this time until 12. That's time that I can work on other things that are important. And one of the things, and I said in my vital list, that is so important is being healthy, having optimal health. So that's when I'm able to get my hydration in, my breathing, my workouts, getting my mind right, reading books. And I've got all those things that are important that a lot of times take a back burner, but your health has to be your number one priority, because if your health is fucked up, you're not going to be in a good place either. So that allows me to get 2 days out of one. So I can get all that stuff in. Then I go to work, I'm feeling good, I'm feeling refreshed. And by the end of the day, I'm tired, but I'm not worn down. And I already got all the important things done. I won my day. I got my vital list in. Everything is looking really good. Now, here's the thing. I can work this schedule and I can dictate my schedule to be what it is, because I'm not a commodity. I'm not like everyone else. So many of you out there, you struggle because you're basically doing the same thing as everybody else. And when you're doing the same thing as everybody else, maybe you might do the deep tissue just a little bit better. Maybe your cups might be a little more magical than anyone else. But at the end of the day, you're still very similar to the other person out there. I'm not. I'm in there being a problem solver. And when you can solve problems, you can do it better and faster than anyone else out there. You're way more valuable, and you can work the schedule that you want to work. It also allows me to have a 4-day weekend every weekend. Wouldn't that be awesome? And lastly, it gives me that time to be able to take care of my body and my mind, because I've been down that road. I got burnt out. I fucked my body up. I couldn't work for a long time. It really, really fucked me up. And I promised myself that I would never get back to that point as well. So just to recap, a couple things you can do. The matrix decision, vital list, that'll really help you figure out making that decision so you can take the emotion out of it. The power list is something amazing that can really help you focus on the things that are important. It's not like a never-ending list. You get your 5 tasks done, and sometimes you might even get them done before 12 o'clock. And then if you want to fuck around the rest of the day, you can. Tools and tactics, don't use social media. Use social media. Don't let it use you. Grayscale, get off the phone, make the power list, learn the system, learn the treatment where you can do it better and faster than everyone else, because that can create the schedule and the life that you want. You're not having to work all these crazy hours and be available at all this other time because you're just like everyone else, and you don't have to compete on price. You can actually charge the most, be the best, and still be the best value around. That's all I got for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Maybe you got some tactics and strategies out there. I've been coaching and mentoring massage therapists for going on 5 years now, and I've found the people that do really well and take it to the next level, they get this stuff in order and they show up right. They act like a professional. The ones that don't, where shit's just fucked up all the time, they never get results and they wonder why it's not working. It's not working because you don't have a system and a process to get you where you need to go. I appreciate you guys listening. And as I close every podcast, get out there and be great this week. The world needs access to your amazing treatments so they can stay the hell away from pain pills, injections, and surgeries, which only make things worse. Appreciate you guys listening, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye. Thanks so much for listening. If you want help on the path to being able to double your income, all while working 50% less and being taken seriously as a healthcare provider, I have some great resources for you. Number 1, get access to our free training modules and introduction to my system, the Peak Method. Number 2, subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Soft Tissue Revolution. Links to all of this can be found in the show notes. Lastly, if you like the show, please leave us a 5-star review and share it with others that you know it could help.